So Ro Khanna and Matt Gaetz were doing an interview with an idiot on Fox News, the idiot Brian Kilmeade. Brian Kilmeade is one who spreads conspiracy theories. He spreads a bunch of crap about the left policies and all that. And he's a typical Fox goon, an establishment prick and hack. So, but he doesn't interview. Had a box here. He does an interview with Ro Khanna and Matt Gaetz, and Matt Gaetz is a Republican. Ro Khanna is a supposed progressive, but he's actually a progressive sellout, a Democratic sellout, so not really a progressive in my view. But anyway, so I just want to show you this. He's being mercilessly attacked for absolutely no freaking reason. This happened last week, so I know I'm covering things late here on the podcast. I gotta get better at that. But just watch this interview and watch how it goes here, because I think it's very telling.
How much you like this guy. You told me off camera. You and Matt get along.
We do get along. We work on common issues. We work to get PAC money out of politics. We both believe that lobbyists shouldn't be running this place. We both believe that we shouldn't be in foreign wars. Obviously, we disagree on issues, but we actually engage in dialogue, and we even hang out.
Congressman, I don't know if you know it, but Congressman Khanna did not, Rana did not support Donald Trump, and you did. He supported Bernie Sanders. When did you realize you could still work with him, that you came into the same class and you can get some stuff done?
Brian, so many of the challenges we face in Washington don't just pit the red team against the blue team. They're generational challenges. How do we ensure that America defeats China to win in the 21st century? How do we build a technical working class of people able to survive? How do we ensure that we don't waste the blood and treasure of our country at wars in the Middle East? And what's unique about this political realignment that I think Donald Trump had something to do with, that Bernie Sanders had something to do with, is that you can actually have right-wing populists and left-wing populists working together.
Right.
And sometimes it is the establishment against the rest of us. Ro Khanna has made me a better congressman because he doesn't take money from lobbyists or PACs. Most members of Congress get most of their money from lobbyists, PACs, and special interests. Because of Ro's inspiration, I'm the only Republican who won't take any lobbyist or PAC money.
And I think a lot of times...
Let me return the compliment to Matt. When we were trying to end our involvement in Yemen, and when we were trying to make sure that we didn't get into Iran, Matt went against people in his own party, in his own leadership, to stop those wars. And if I was just trying to put together a coalition on the left, we would never have made the progress in Yemen. We would have never made the progress in stopping the intervention in Iran. So people said, why are you working with Matt Gaetz? I said, well, if you care about stopping wars overseas, look at what he's doing.
Right, absolutely. All right.
So, I have to say, look, the first thing I'll say is it's crazy because it's incredible. How incredible is this? So, look, people have been attacking Ro Khanna, and I've been attacking Ro Khanna along with all the other progressives. And it's with really for a lot of reasons. Mainly the main reason is they don't freaking force the fucking vote like they're supposed to. And that's why, like, those in the United States don't have health care. Those in the United States don't have a high wage. Those in the United States don't have the right to unionize. And our labor rights suck. That's why we have homeless people. Anyway, so he won't do it. And I've kind of talked about him not doing it. And I think it's stupid. So they say a couple things here. First off, you know, the first thing is people were responding to or attacking Ro Khanna for this, and he finally snapped, and he was like, okay, sure, okay, so a teenager or a kid in South Carolina or North Carolina or South Dakota or anywhere in the United States has to die because we have to send them to endless wars, and you don't care about that? Okay, fine, continue being a partisan hack. Go ahead. And I kind of like when progressives can get that aggressive. I wish they would use it. I just wish they would use it when it really matters. Okay, so, but I love this. So, look, I mean, okay, Ro Khanna worked with Matt Gaetz on Yemen. Okay, he said it on Fox. He said it in that interview. They worked on ending Yemen together. Our conflict in Yemen, our involvement in the conflict in Yemen. We're giving Saudi Arabia money and weapons so that they can bomb the shit out of Yemen, northern Yemen specifically. Southern Yemen, really, I think it's southern Yemen, northern Yemen, whatever it was. I don't really remember. But they do open airstrikes in mosques, in hospitals, in markets, everywhere. And we're supporting that, and so they try to end that. Like that, that's somewhere where we can work together as right and left. Now, look, they say, Matt Gaetz says, well, they say, I forgot who said it. Well, it's kind of like the left and right populists against the establishment issues and the establishment itself. And in a way, yeah, that's true. And mind the noise because people don't remember that I'm filming. In a way, yes, that's actually true because, the establishment hates any kind of change. They hate any kind of progressivism. But here's where I will caution you, right? Now, before I caution you, look, let me caution you. Look, it is true that right and left wing populists can work together. But you kind of have to be careful because you've got like Matt Gaetz and Josh Hawley and Ted Cruz and all these other people who say, and Tom Cotton, I'm for the minimum wage, and Mitt Romney, right? But then they do all this cop-out crap where it's like, you gotta get rid of this immigration system and this immigrant, this and that, and this and that. So it's not really, and they don't make it to $15 an hour. They don't put it up there. So they cop out. But when it came to vote for it, they didn't vote for it. They voted against it in the COVID bill. And then they're against the PRO Act, which would allow for Amazon workers and all workers here in the United States to unionize for labor rights. I say labor, but it's labor rights. Okay, they're against. A lot of them are against reoccurring checks. So don't give me that shit. That they're for workers and they're for the middle class and they're doing all this. They're lowering taxes. That's a constant Republican talking point. Yeah, on the rich, not you. They're not for workers. If you're not for raising the minimum wage and you're not for the PRO Act, and a lot of you are not for reoccurring checks, okay, then you're not a freaking populist. Stop saying that you are. So you gotta call it like it is. Okay? Now, so it's bullshit. But there are instances where, for example, Josh Hawley advocated for higher unemployment and $2,000 checks. $2,000 checks, which is, he put up a fight. Bernie didn't really do it. Progressives didn't really do it. Oh, I'm getting tired. But, he actually advocated and voted for $2,000 checks. So you got to give credit on that. And you got to give credit here to Matt Gaetz for working with Khanna on Yemen. And they worked on Iran together. And Bernie, I guess, because he worked with Senator Lee on, Senator Mike Lee on ending the war in Yemen too. So, look, if you can get Matt Gaetz, who's a horrible human being, conspiracy theorist, right-wing lunatic, and apparently sex trafficker, who knows? I don't know on that scandal. But if you can get him to agree on, ending the war in Yemen and ending the war and not getting us into Iran and preventing that, then the answer is always yes. The answer is always going to be a huge, loud, resounding yes. You have to take that. And look, I think that I don't have any doubt that Khanna is against the war in Afghanistan. I have no doubt that Matt Gaetz is against the war in Afghanistan, and you can see it. The proof is in the pudding. He has that. Okay, so you gotta work with him on the things that you agree on. You're not working on things that you disagree on. It's not like Matt Gaetz is saying, I want to do tax cuts for the rich. And Khanna's like, oh, me too. Yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, sure. He's not. He's doing things that he agrees on. So, and look, Bernie used to work with Ron Paul all the time on civil liberties, including like on the Bill of Rights, on the First Amendment and all of that. And on the Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment too. Like a free and speedy trial and all of that. Any persons, right? And then they used to work together, and Rand Paul too, and then they used to work together on drugs and the war on drugs and ending the crazy ass shitty war on drugs. So you gotta take it. You really have to take it. And my next point, a lot of people are kind of going with, well, you can't really validate Matt Gaetz. Dude, he's a congressman. What the hell's your problem? The dude's a congressman already. He's already validated no matter what the hell Khanna does. No matter what he does, he's already vindicated, but validated. You're at the very top. At the very top. So you working with him, oh, you're gonna validate him. Bitch, he's already validated. So is Khanna. Okay, so back off. Stop being a partisan tribal hack. Work where you can work, and not where you can't. Just ignore it. Don't go where you can't. Now, the other thing, last point I'll make. Matt Gaetz was like, how Khanna convinced him to not take any corporate PAC money. And he's like, I'm the only Republican who doesn't take any corporate PAC money. That's fine. You don't take any corporate PAC money. But when we talk about corruption, in order to go full anti-corruption and that you're not corrupt, and to say you're not corrupt, is for you to just take only small dollar donations. That is the only way you can say, hey, I'm not corrupt. But if you don't, and you take money from PACs, and you take money from super PACs, or if you take money from, even if you don't take money from that, let's say, okay, great on these guys, they're not. But let's say you take money from unions. Let's say you take money from executives from companies and all of that. You are corrupt. And look, although Khanna only takes small dollar donations from small dollar donors, he is still corrupt. He is a corporate sellout. He's still a corporate sellout. He's still not forcing the vote. He's still siding with Nancy Pelosi. He's still voting her into power. He's not giving you health care. He's not giving you housing. He's not raising your wages. He's not giving you a recurring check, ending the wars. Well, you know what? I'll give him that. He's not helping to cancel student debt. He's not helping to give you free college. He's not helping to get the Green New Deal. He's not doing any of that. So he's a corporate sellout. So you can say how much you are against corruption and how you don't take corporate PAC money, and that's fine. And you can say you take small dollar donors, and this is where Kyle Kalinske didn't take it. I wish he would, but you have to not be a corporate freaking sellout, because that's what Khanna is. He's not a progressive. He's just a guy that goes along to get along. And I know people are like, oh, but you have to do that. It's to play nice and unity. Yeah, and like the Nevada Democrats here in Nevada and all the other Democrats don't do that. Why the hell are we preaching unity? But anyway, that's my spiel on that. You have to not be a sellout, and you have to actually take only small dollar donations from small dollar donors. So, last thing, again, to summarize, work where you can. If Matt Gaetz and Ron Paul and Josh Hawley and all of them are saying $2,000 checks, take it. If they're against the wars, take it. You work where you can with these guys, and not where you don't agree. That's just the thing about it. So I'm tired of, and by the way, this whole thing of you're not going to talk to anybody that you don't agree with and that you have disagreements with. You're just going to never talk to them and never get things done. It's a stupid ass argument. It's bullshit. It's stupid. Don't ever do it. It's wrong. And this is why we don't get things done in the world, is because people disagree with each other to the point where they can't talk to each other.